The art of the possible is the art of the potential. Possible comes from the Latin posse, meaning to be able. Potential comes from the Latin potens, meaning powerful. They come from the same roots. Possibility and power are from the same linguistic root. Interoperative, holistic thinking is what connects the roots to its diverse branches and makes the tree really live. And that's what I hope you'll be engaged in over the next couple of days.
So this year was the 9th annual symposium, 2014. A lot of the ideas we worked on this year have really been percolating up over the last couple of years. We've been focused continually on the issues and the challenges and the opportunities of information sharing and interoperability. We began a series of symposia, both on the East Coast and on the West Coast, to try to identify and then synthesize the key ideas associated with that.
Every program is designed around its own needs, and those needs are very valid and important, but bringing people together to better understand each other's needs and how the information that you collect for one purpose can be used for another purpose is enormously valuable, but also enormously complex.
So we began, as part of our work in California, to bring together a pretty broad, diverse constituency to begin to have these conversations within the state.
You've been invited here to be the change we want to see and to sustain that drive. Thank you for what you're about to do.
We then transitioned that back to our national event, the 8th annual symposium, where we actually repurposed some of those ideas, took some of the models and some of the new ways of thinking about how do you bring systems together, and brought those into the curriculum and the agenda of the second symposium within the California series, which really synthesized for us and ended up being the basis of the interoperability plan for the state of California. Following that, a number of months later, we held the first Open Data Fest within the area of health and human services. And this is really leveraging and playing off of the Health Data Palooza, which has been a phenomenon. The work we did in January was really focused on health and human services and what the role of open data would be and could be.
Data's everywhere, but we need to put it to work. If you think about it as the encoded history of everything that we know, then it should be the single most important factor in informing what we do next, in changing policies, in creating better interventions, in essentially shaping the future and every aspect of that future based upon all of that information.
One thing I really found exciting and really fulfilling about this year's symposium was our panel on data. One of the things that occurred to us was that data itself was working and operating in different silos.
We've got open data, big data, research data, personally identifiable data, but I think that sometimes those of us who are working to advance each of those efforts end up working at cross purposes because we're not clear about where we're drawing boundaries and what each of those means.
What we were able to do with the assistance of PG Forrest, who's the executive director for the Health and Social Policy Institute here at the Bloomberg School of Public Health, is to actually have probably the first conversation amongst those three different silos of information and to begin to consider how do we bring those sources of data together to provide a comprehensive 360 perspective both on the client, the environment, the culture, and the organization that people are interacting with. Very exciting stuff.
Interoperability looks like something to users. It really does. It really has a look. People know when they see it, they know when they don't see it. They kind of have a hard time potentially pinning their finger on it at times. But I wanted to talk about that from a user's perspective to us at Google, what that looks like.
This year we had 3 champion level partners, including IBM, Esri, and new to the pack was Google. And I think that was very exciting to have those 3 giant partners really in the conversation. They each represent a very different part of the technology industry, and they bring a different perspective to the table relative to what they're trying to accomplish.
So if anyone has ideas about how to better inform ourselves about what's a good governance model that we're being told versus a not so great governance model, we're definitely open to it.
Also, what was really different, and I think we actually accomplished quite well this year, is we got into a dialogue with our federal partners. We had a half a day where we had a conversation that went back and forth. It's very unusual to have an opportunity to actually be in dialogue and to be in a conversation with our federal partners. Usually it's pretty one way.
So this is about how to spark transformation in the health and human services space. And it's in particular about how to do it in a bottoms-up way.
We were very excited to have the participation of Shemendra Paul, who leads the information sharing environment. He spoke at last year's symposium, and over the year we've really developed a relationship with him in his office about what we're doing in health and human services.
I really appreciate the leadership Stewards of Change is providing, bringing the community together here at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School. This has been a wonderful event. What I really like too is that it ties to what you all did last year. There's a persistence to this. Building these communities, it takes time, it takes energy to build that critical mass, to get that spark.
I am so excited about looking forward into the next year. We accomplished a great deal. The last few years, we've created a body of knowledge, a very interested, motivated, passionate cadre of attendees and participants across the nation. So as we look forward going into and towards our 10th annual symposium, we're excited about being able to take action. We're excited about being able to come back next year and really talk about and show the progress that has been made.